Well, good Sunday morning, everybody. I'm gonna before everybody gets in here or whatever, I'm gonna take me a drink of my Mountain Dew, diet Mountain Dew, since I'm on diet. Might look a little bit grubby this morning. Haven't gotten out and shaved yet, but trying to get started here. Couldn't find my regular glasses. I set them down. I had to grab an old pair of glasses. Uh, Actually, it's a newer part. Actually, it's my newer glasses, but I never did like them. Let me rephrase that. I got some more like a aviator style glasses, and I use them more than anything. Hey, Philip, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good this morning. Just like I said, a little bit grubby. I hadn't shaved yet this morning, and that sort of stuff, and trying to get started out here. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a good chat. Hopefully, I'll be able to see the screen good because I don't particularly like these. I bought these glasses a couple of years ago. Never did really like them. Good morning, Ralph. How are you? Hey, Ponka. Yeah. It's one of those things you think. I thought these would be. Oh, hey, Chris. Chris, you went ahead of me again. I checked this morning. Me and Chris are running neck and neck on our subscription. So if anybody hadn't subscribed to Chris, get out there and subscribe to him. I want his channel to do as good as mine, and we're both. I hope we'll both be able to elevate each other's subscription rate up or whatever, get our subs up. Chris and I are running both right at 451. I think that's what it was. I checked a little while ago because I want to keep up with us. We're both growing up at about the same time. Our channels are. Oh me, well I'm all wrinkled up this morning. Our channels are trying to get a foothold, and we're trying to do some good things. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's well, I've been trying to. I hope you understand. I've actually promoted Chris's channel as much as I have my own. I want his channel to grow too. Chris has a lot of good things out there. If you, he's a good old boy. If you haven't seen his channel, good old boy that does a lot of different things, trying to make a good living out there in the Midwest, and contracting and working on equipment and all kind of things. And so I want him to be able to grow right along with me. He and I have gotten a connection for a good while, and I enjoy his friendship, and I hope he enjoys mine. And we try to chit chat back and forth and everything. And they don't look bad. They don't look bad, but they I can't see as good with them because they're smaller. And I use trifocals. It's in my age, they're smaller, and I think I got well, they call them something else. It's something else. Progressive lens. That's what it is, I believe. It progressively goes up and down, so you might see me leaning back to see something more on the screen because where it hits my eyes and everything, I have to kind of adjust. That's what good old age will do for you. When the older you get, the more you'll be dependent on these glasses. That's for sure. I've been wearing glasses since I was about. I think I was in college before. I think I was 18. I think I was in college before I ever wore glasses, and I had astigmatism. So that's what you'll get involved with. But as you get older, when you get into your 40s, then you'll need the bifocals. You'll need to be able to see that. Oh, you got yours in third grade. Yeah. Both my children wear glasses, and well, my wife wore them all through. My wife is the early adopter. My wife, she had the real bad vision, and of course I always thought she was cute with her glasses, but she would when we were in high school, she had the vanity part of it, and she didn't want to wear her glasses then. And she tried contacts. She couldn't wear contacts. They just wouldn't. She cried her eyes out trying to keep contacts way back then. But you know, there again, that's before they had the real soft lenses like they got nowadays too. My daughter wears contacts. My son used to wear them, but he doesn't. And even my grandson. My grandson had pretty bad vision early on, and he had to have his glasses. Gosh, when he was like 4 years old, I think something like that, 3 or 4. He was pretty young, and his vision was really bad, and he needed corrective lenses pretty bad. But you know, that's it's something everybody needs to protect good. I have really good vision for an older man. I had with corrective lenses, I've got 20/15, and even without my glasses, I have pretty good. Except, you know, I need the bifocals and everything to read and that sort of stuff. But as far as straight up vision, I'm not even restricted to my glasses at my age. I'm not restricted to drive with them. I always kind of like that. I almost have to fudge now though. It's to the point. It's to the point now that uh, I almost have to kind of squint a little bit to see all the signs in the DMV thing. But for the last you know, so many 60, 70 years, well, what 50 something years, I guess I have my license. I've never had to be restricted to them and everything. So it's pretty good. Yeah. Well, guys, I've had a lot of people wanting to know how business has been this year, and that's sort of my title. So I thought I would get into that. And business has been pretty good, but you know, as most business people independently involved with their own, you know, their own business, and that's all we do. It's never good enough. I mean, I don't care what you're. I mean, if you're making 5,000 a year, you want to make 10. If you make 10, you want to make 20, and so on and so on and so on. And but numbers wise, I think our gross on the trucking was about equal to 2018. We didn't. We kind of modified. Yeah, well, yeah, most of us do want to just be in the black. Uh, but you'll dip into the red. I've dipped into red a couple times. I've got multiple layers of mine because I'm incorporated out here at Cherryville Auto and Truck, my Napa store, and then I have BRJ Transportation. I have MSJ2 Transportation, and we're helping another couple get started with Walker Transportation, and we have sold off some parts of that to them, and they're going to be the people that eventually run my business for me as I get older. Well, I'm already older, but as we decide to back off on the FedEx side as much, because the FedEx side is demanding. It's a lot of work. So one of these first days, I'm hoping to be able to uh, let the walkers run most of that. Now, the walkers, as I speak about them, let me change this lighting around here a little bit. I was a little bit dark there, I think. Uh, Landon Walker, I think some people have heard me talk about him. Landon is actually works for NASCAR. He he is the gas man for the 24 car, and uh, he and his wife works for us. They've been wanting to get into the FedEx side of the business. They have a couple of Amazon trucks, so we're letting them merge into our system, and we're going to be selling them parts of that gradually and letting them merge into our system. And uh, yeah, okay, well that's what you got to be able to do. But as I was kind of explaining this, we're going to be selling that to them. Hey, Greg, how are you? And so hopefully, as like I said, when I get to the point that I say I don't want to do any more work on the FedEx side, that we'll be in good shape. Uh, so that's where we're at right there. And as it stands right now, I'm still healthy, and that depends on a lot of things. I mean, I realize that I'll be 69 years old this year, uh, and that's pushing it for a lot of guys that are out still out here working. So, and I've been with FedEx 33 years. I'm the oldest contractor in the states of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. I've kind of checked into that. I knew I was in North Carolina, South Carolina. I think if I'm not mistaken, I've been with the company longer than any contractor in Georgia. And some people said, well, you might all check the whole East Coast. You may be longer than that. And I think I have, because a lot of guys that have had longevity with them have sold off, and they're no longer doing anything with FedEx at all. But what I'm doing, like I said, I realize that I'm not going to be able to stay in the business at the capacity I'm at for in the near future. So I've decided to bring in these partners, and so far it's working really good. And we're working it out. We're working out the system and getting everything ironed out, and hopefully it'll work good for us. Hey, comfortable man, how are you? I want to kind of acknowledge everybody as I go along with my story, but uh, you know, and I saw that I want to kind of back out off. A couple of years ago when I bought the Napa store, I backed out a little bit and put some effort into try to put some good effort into this. And I like my Napa store. Of course, now the Napa store. Uh, luckily I've got a trucking business to help subsidize the Napa store, because I've had to redirect some of the things that I was buying outside, and say, well, let's put this, I've got the Napa store, let's run it through the Napa store. I had to kind of uh, re I had to reevaluate what I was actually doing. Of course, I had to get help from Napa too, because the store in general was not uh, uh, equipped for just heavy duty stuff. And now I have had to retool it and try to get everything kind of retooled good for my trucking business. So all that, coupled together, and then plus we put the Napa store in a brand new store. I bought the Ford dealership, the former Ford dealership here in Cherryville, which is great. It's a great location. It's right on the major highway, Highway 150, and it's a lot larger building. It's about 4,000 square feet as opposed to about I did good to have 900 to 1,000 square feet at the old building, and we were able to put a lot more product out here. But all that being said, there's been a lot of expense getting this up and going too. So, well, stock wise, yeah, it's we have it. It's probably I want to say 5 times larger than it used to be, and we have worked hard at, and of course, and all that being said, that means a larger investment. I had to borrow some more on the Napa part itself. I'm trying to make it self-sufficient, and that's the hard part about trying to grow this business. Now, the business, Brent, my nephew that works for me here, he said that it was up 66% from the previous year. Now, that doesn't mean 66% profit. I can tell you. Uh, that means it did 66% better than the previous year that we had owned it. And it has continually increased. And last year was the first full year that we had here in the new location. So that's a good barometer of where we're at. But like I said, that being said, it still needs to be more profitable. And we put a lot of money into our inventory, and uh, and we minimize our overhead as far as my cost of the building has gone up, but my rent, I was renting here's my logic behind this. I hope y'all will understand. I'm probably paying 3 times as much in rent, but it's not rent. I'm purchasing it. My cost of overhead there is it jumped from about 900 a month to 3,000 a month. I've got a lot larger building, but I'm buying the building. The other I was just renting, and I just don't like renting. I think it's a waste of time and money and effort. So my philosophy is to buy it, improve it, and then I'll have equity in the building. You can rent for 10 years, and if you move out, you've got zero equity in the property at that point. And property will increase in value. So it may take me more to be able to get to where I want to be, but I'm enjoying the fact that I'm actually purchasing it. Yeah, well, my little store that I had across town was it was a smoky, smelly, old building. It wasn't fun to work in. I didn't think, and my wife didn't like it at all. And in this one, we have an opportunity to. I'm in Barbara's office right now. One reason it stays a little bit neater than mine. Mine's across the way, but unfortunately, my office is not the neater of the two. And she's fussed at me for junking up her desk. She saw it on video herself. She said, "You're making a mess of my office." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry. I'll try to clean up." So I had to apologize to my wife there. Uh, yeah. Well, like I said, and to review this past year, our trucking business, we increased a couple of routes, and but we've had some major investments there too. We have bought since the first of last year. We have bought, I think it's 15 new trucks. So I've got 15 trucks, and of course truck payments with that and that sort of stuff. We've overhauled 2 trucks, and but we're in a situation with FedEx that we're going to be more or less required to have all at least a certain level up. We're going to have all the new uh, F cams on the trucks, what it's amounting to. And one reason is because our insurance has gotten astronomical on us. I mean, astronomical as far as uh, deductible. Uh, our deductible jumped from 2,000 to 18,000 per truck on incidents on a deductible part. So if my truck has an accident out there, I'm required to pay the first $18,000 out of my pocket. Well, let me explain to you. Here's what happens. They won't let me take out of my pocket. They let me. I pay to FedEx because FedEx will turn around and pay the bill because FedEx is going to get the make sure that it's paid, uh, and then they deduct that or charge me back up to that, and that's one reason. And I had 2 trucks that had small accidents. I'll say small in nature that they got up against them. Well, 2 of them changing lanes and got up against cars. Both of them within, gosh, a month's time almost. And both of those accidents, I'm gonna probably be paying out of the pocket upwards of $25,000 probably. So very expensive, very expensive. I might have to lean over here to see this because my glasses are different. Okay, let's see. Let me vote. I'm trying to catch up on the reading, guys. So yeah, I might have to. Oh, you're gonna sell off some of your toys? Okay, yeah. I'll try not to move around and get everything. The camera gets funky. It this auto correct on that camera up there. Yeah. Okay. Y'all talking a different conversation over there. I was trying to keep up, making sure but you know, as far as business has grown going, the store out here, we're proud of it to where it's going, uh, but it needs to be a couple of different levels up from where it is right now. I've got to get my outside sales doing better. Is everything looking good today? Is the audio looking good? And I mean, audio looking is the audio sounding good and the video looking good? I'm trying to make sure everything looks appropriate, and that's part of the everything I read about videos and everything out here. It tells you, you know, you've got to have a good, pleasant, even on these live feeds, a good, pleasant look to it. You don't want to have you know, sketchy and all that sort of stuff. You want to make sure your signal's good. Yeah, the audio's looking good. Okay. Old guy here, you know, you got to deal with what you got, guys. I mean, I'm getting crossed up here. At least I'm not calling everybody different names. I'm not calling Greg Chris and Chris Greg. That's like my dad. We used to, there's four of us boys, and my dad, he would, when he'd get mad at something we were doing or whatever, he'd start calling out names, and he might call you two or three different names before you finally got to your right name and everything. It'd call me, or D or Don or my, well, you know, one of you guys, I'll get to the right one. That's the way Dad was in his later years. Uh, well, actually, not his later years. I guess I was thinking he was an old man, but he probably was. He probably wasn't. But in his 40s or early 50s, I left home. When I left home, let's see, how old was Dad? Dad was in his 40s, I guess, when I left home, uh, because I was 19 and Dad's 20. Dad was 27. Yeah, so Dad was still in his late 40s when I left home. Got a good signal. Okay, well, great. You know, that's what I'm after. I'm trying to, and I got some videos. I'm trying to get some edited and get them out there. And I've got one, Chris, that I want you to watch for sure. And I'll give you a little preview of it. I want to show y'all guys this. I got it in my pocket, but I'm gonna do a review on this uh, right here. And what this is, now you say, oh, it's a thumb drive. No, it's a special thumb drive. Now I flipped it around. Now you might see that it goes in a smartphone, goes in an iPhone or an iPad. And it's a 256 meg gig meg. What is that? 256 gig, 256 gig storage device. No, not 256, 128. I had to look at it here. 128. But it's got storage on here, and you can actually download your video immediately off of your iPhone or directly record to this. And then, like I said, turn it around. Like I said, it's iPhone. You record it in from your iPhone or your iPad, and then you turn it around and then drop it into your computer to edit. Neat little thing. Neat little thing. And I'm gonna do a little review on it. And it wasn't very expensive. I think this one was $28-$30 on Amazon. I have two of them. I have two different kind, and they've got software that goes with them. So I'll tell you about that. Hey, Jersey Trucker, how are you this morning? But I'm gonna do a little more extensive review and kind of demo this too, so you can see what I'm talking about. So what was it you deleted, Chris? I wasn't paying attention there. Oh, you watch all my videos. Well, good, good. I'm same here. I watched. I think I've seen every one of yours. And the early ones. And thank goodness Chris has not scared me to death like he did in a couple of them. I mean, like you guys. If you want to go back and see something that spooky is, go see the ones where the daredevils. I thought I was. What was the show that we used to watch? I think where the guys would do all kind of crazy daredevil things. Chris and Ricky would do a little bit of that. It scared me for a little bit. uh, wow. Well, if you got it up close enough, sell it. If you don't need it, and I guess that's what I put it at. If you don't need it, and that's like I sold what 2 years ago, I sold a car that I'd had for 30 something years, and I decided I wasn't going to sell it. Now then I sold it, and then what I did, I found one that was what it was is Model A, and I found one that was fixed further along than mine, and I bought it, and I don't have to do all that work now. So that's what I did. So the shenanigans ain't over. Wow. Uh, I mean, yeah. Now I have. Had I shown you what I did years ago, Chris, I bought a house, or well, actually, my son bought it, but I helped him arrange everything. We bought a house that the school system had built, had it moved over to where his lot was, and actually built a basement underneath it before and made it the foundation. And that was a trip, but we did it right. I mean, we had the huge steel eye beams. The guy that a friend of mine that had the house moving business had the huge steel eye beams and had it cribbed up and everything, so we could uh, put it build around it and everything. Then I had the brick mason to come in and do the foundation underneath it and help build it right up to it. And then we got it to a certain level, had everything good and square and level. And then we let the house back down onto the foundation. And that was a trip. Now, I wish I'd had YouTube videos back then of that. I've got photos of it, but I don't have I didn't take enough. I probably should have taken way more. But that was an adventure. And he's got a beautiful home now. He's got a beautiful home, and he's in a nice neighborhood. Kind of got the neighborhood upset when we brought the house in, but they didn't. After we got going good and got the landscaping, that all is well and good now. Nobody says anything because his house looks as normal as anybody else's. But at the time, they were not happy with it. It was one of those covenant type things. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And that sort of stuff. So you sometimes can upset some neighbors and different people like that if you don't watch it. But like I said, all is good. All is good. And when you're dealing with a lot of things, I don't know. It sometimes if you have an idea outside the norm, but you know that it will work. Some people don't always agree with your idea, and to get it across sometimes can be tough. And that's what we got into with that situation. We had the idea. We said, hey, we'll take this, we'll add on to it, we'll have a nice house. He'll be able to have some savings involved in that, and have a really good house. And that's what we did. And of course, created controversy in the process. But all that's it's brushed over. And of course, that's been, gosh, he's been in that house about 18 years now, I think, something like that. It's been a while. It's been a while because I was telling him the other day that he is almost my age when I started helping him when he built that house. So it's kind of spooky. That time has progressed that quick and gone on and everything. But you don't know. You got to try. You got to get out there and work hard. and do, you know, sometimes you have to ruffle some feathers too. um, yeah, yeah. Sometimes your neighbors don't care for your stuff. I've had that to happen before too. Uh, I over the years, I'm got people that know me. I do things my way. Uh, I may not do it how everybody wants me to do it, but I still do it my way and get most of it done pretty good. I can't complain, uh, and I've been successful with it, and that's what I think I mark different than a lot of people are. I mean, some people won't take a challenge, and I don't mind taking a challenge, and I don't mind uh, doing things and I've got a couple people that work for me and they said, well, I didn't understand exactly what you meant, but I understand now. And this is what, you know, it's sort of like this way and that way and then Mike's way. And but and my way is not always the right way, but I'm going to try things my way, you know, initially, but I'll you know, I do my best. I do my best, and I can't complain too much. I've been out here chugging along for 50 years, and so far so good. Paying my bills. That's the main thing. As we were talking about how things are progressing this year, uh, you know, still paying my bills, and you know, uh, I still try to, you know, I still try to look forward to doing new and different adventures. And you know, as some people know, U-Haul wants me to start uh, renting the U-Hauls out here, and I've got plenty of lot, and it's supposed to be a, you know, I'm I wanted to have something extra for my guys to do here. I mean, I work my guys as strong as I can, but they got it made in a way too. I don't push them. Uh, they can sit here and, you know, they do what they're supposed to do, but we don't have a full day. And I think they actually and they're looking forward to getting it too, because they feel like it'll bring in some more customers, and they want to stay busy. I mean, I'll give it to you on that. My guys like to stay busy. They would much rather be helping customers out here than just kind of twiddling their thumbs and looking at each other, waiting on the next customer to come in or that sort of stuff, or putting up inventory or whatever. But that's where we're going to go with that. But I guess I'm gonna kind of get out of here a little bit early today. I've got a lot of things I got to get done. I hope all of y'all have enjoyed this morning's chat. I'm not gonna stay on here forever. Everything's been going pretty good in 2018 and not 2019 and now in 2020. We're hoping to do bigger and better things. So that's where we're going for. Hopefully we'll get bigger and better and kind of kick on out of there a little bit. But everybody jump in here and like I was telling you, Chris and I over here at Outcast are neck and neck with each other. So he's ahead of me right now. But maybe we'll both progress and get bigger on our YouTube channel. So help him if you hadn't already signed up for Chris's, and I know he'll help me when he gets a chance too. All right, well, y'all take care, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I'll see you next Sunday for sure. But I'm gonna be putting up some more videos this week. May even jump on again later too. So we'll see you.